Hey everyone, it's Robin with Robin's Creative Space. Today is day 46 in my art journal. And the more I do this, the more I can't wait to do it every day. And I have to say that my hope in opening up creativity for me by doing a 100-day project like this really was worth it. And I would recommend it to anyone who is thinking about trying to get creative and do a 100-day challenge for yourself. And that's regardless of what kind of creativity you do, even if it's dance or singing or, playing ball or, anything. Just give it 100 days straight and see where it takes you, because practice always helps. And the more you play, the more you practice, the more you start learning about what works for you and what doesn't work. So I think I left off last time with this page, although it just looked like this background right here. And I started a negative painting, learning about what things work and what don't. I used a turquoise, where is it? I used a turquoise ink, acrylic ink, and unfortunately, I don't see it here right now. So it was a turquoise acrylic ink, and I watered it down because it is an opaque ink. So I thought, well, if I water it down, maybe it'll be translucent, which is what I like for my negative painting, because I really like the background to kind of show up a little bit and then really show up in whatever I'm drawing down. So it was still a little too opaque, got a little bit too thick. I was not happy with it. I got super frustrated, but I kind of tried to keep on going. I haven't finished this one yet because I just lost interest, and I'm sure I'll go back to it in a couple days as I'm watching TV or just having some free time where I just feel like doodling some flowers. But as you can see, I was doing a negative painting, and it did come out super opaque in certain areas, and really did not like that. And I didn't want to continue doing opaque all over it, so I just kind of went forward and moved along to see, what I could do with it. Nothing that, we're going to do is going to be perfect. We're going to try things. We're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Trying with some more ink. I used my Liquitex, and this is the transparent raw umber. And I've been watching a woman who does some amazing kind of medieval type drawings. She does a lot of landscapes, medieval plot landscapes. And she does a really cool wash in the background that looks kind of leathery. And I liked that, and it made me think of my raw umber. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that'll be like if I water it down a little bit, because it is transparent already. And then just tried a few little things, and they'll be fun to doodle over and see what I can create with them. And it's always fun to get inspiration from other people, as long as you're not copying them and you're just getting inspiration from them. Maybe you like the way they do their lines. She has a way of doing lines that are kind of crooked, but in a perfect way. And I really want to learn how to do that because I love the look of it. I don't think that I'll ever do medieval like what she does, but I do love the way her lines turn out, and I'd like to see how that could show up in my art journal or, just in a doodling process. This is another thing I was working on. I drew out a couple just random shapes, and with pencil, then I put in some, this side was originally done with Poscas. However, the Poscas just didn't have the coverage I was looking for. So I remembered I had my Sharpie brush pens, and pulling these out and using them. This is what the tips look like on them. And they are acrylic ink. They're super smooth, and I absolutely love them. And I don't know why they were packed away, but they were. And so I got them out, and I went over a lot of the Posca just to make it a little more bright and bold and get a better coverage on it. Love the way these work. just, if I had to compare Poscas to these Sharpies, these are the Creative Markers, the Sharpies Creative Markers, and they are the brush tip. If I had to compare the two, I would pick these hands down over Poscas or any other acrylic pen. They're just amazing. And they do have different, they have a brush style, they have a fine point, not just the regular Sharpie ink pens, but the Sharpie Creative Markers have a whole nother line. And I've always been a huge fan of Sharpie. Sharpies have always been my go-to when I go to doodling. And I started doing Poscas and I liked those. But, you know, comparing the two, Poscas are great for some line work. These Sharpies are excellent for a bigger coverage. And they're also great for line work too, because they have a very, very fine tip on the brushes. And you can also get the acrylic markers in fine tip, or the other one, bullet. The other one was bullet, which I thought would make some really cool dots, but don't really want to invest in anything at the moment. And this side, the background did the same thing, couple shapes, and just colored in the backgrounds. But I wanted to try out my tinted watercolor pencils. So I used these, and they just beautiful, beautiful colors. Not sure how well you will see this, but if you can, hopefully that's in focus because I can't tell. There we go. I think that's a little bit better maybe. Anyway, the Staedtlers have some beautiful colors once these go down. They're kind of dark and they're not bright. So to put the Sharpie markers over them, and I was concerned because these are watercolor pencils. They will, with water, with any kind of liquid, they're going to just start back up again. They're going to, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Anyway, they will turn into watercolor again. So I was worried about using these markers and seeing if they will actually go on top of a watercolor pencil, and they did. You can see a few little areas where that came up, but I'm going to be doing black and white ink over this and over on this side. So on here, that's going to cover up anything that I have going on in the way of like a little bit of bleed. So, and I think that's pretty much what I've been doing the last few days, and just been absolutely loving it, having a great time, and just can't wait to finish these 2 pages. And they're going to be totally different because, you know, this one's all acrylic, this one is watercolor and acrylic, so we'll see how that works. I'm excited for it. Let's see, what else did I want to share? Oh, the great thing about doing art journal, like for me, for getting creative in the art journals, is it also makes me creative in other ways. And for example, I have done some bigger papers. This is a Posca marker. There's certain areas I want to go over, and I'll probably take my Sharpie markers and go over certain areas of it to make it a little bit brighter, a little bit, you know, more opaque. And this is a piece I did with some watercolor and started drawing on top of it. And this is a piece of mixed media. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I planned on drawing on top of it. I'm not sure what exactly will happen. This is another piece I started. I wanted to see what would happen if I used like a metallic. This is actually a gel pen. They're the Jelly Roll Metallics. And it's kind of pretty. I'm not too thrilled with it, but it was a fun try to see what would go on. This is using just a continuous pattern. So the whole thing done in a continuous pattern. It's just 3 different patterns all in a row on every single one, just in different directions. Love the way this turned out. So much that I did another one and another one. And I did this one in white. Again, it was okay. I wasn't super thrilled with the white. I think I like the black a lot better, but it was a good experiment to see what would happen. what else have I got under here to share? Oh, I know something. I did this is a mixed media paper I did. It's large. And I'm going to do a series of 4 with it. So I have already folded it and sized up it's about 7.5 by 5.5, I think. And I'm going to cut this up, and then each piece I'm going to add ink to, and it will also become a, 4-part piece of work. And I think it's gonna look great. Super excited for that. So I have been really creative, and I have been enjoying myself so much. And like I said, I would just suggest if you want to try something, try it for 100 days, see what happens. Even if it's only 5 minutes a day, it doesn't really matter the time you put into it. I think it's more the sustainability and just being present for all of it. This is also where my overflow, I keep stickers on my art table, but my art table is almost full of stickers. So this is kind of my overflow of my stickers. So my most important one, drink coffee, do stuff, because that's what I live by. Anyway, have a beautiful day, have a creative day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.